Every morning, we open our eyes to a world full of possibilities. The moment our feet touch the ground, we are given something invaluable. Time. Time to grow, to learn, to impact the world in ways both big and small. But the truth is, we often take this for granted. We wake up, roll out of bed, and move through our routines without fully realizing what a privilege it is to have another day. Think about it. How often do we wake up and immediately focus on what's wrong? We think about the stress of work, the unfinished task, the responsibilities that feel overwhelming. Instead of seeing the gift of a new morning, we see the burdens of the day ahead. And yet, if we took just a moment to shift our perspective, everything could change. A morning is more than just the start of a new day. It is a reset button, a fresh slate, an opportunity to begin again. No matter what happened yesterday, no matter how many mistakes we made, how many challenges we faced, or how many times we fell short, today gives us another shot. It's a chance to get it right, to take one more step toward becoming the person we were meant to be. Think about the people who never got that chance. The ones who went to bed last night believing they'd wake up this morning, but didn't. Their stories have ended, but yours hasn't. The simple act of waking up means that your journey isn't over. It means there is still something left for you to do, still a purpose waiting to be fulfilled. But purpose doesn't always reveal itself in grand, dramatic ways. Sometimes it's found in the smallest moments, the way we treat others, the choices we make, the attitude we bring into each day. Every morning, we are given the chance to live with intention, to decide how we will show up in the world. Will we choose gratitude, or will we focus on what's missing? Will we embrace the opportunities in front of us, or will we let them slip away unnoticed? Gratitude is a powerful force. When we start our mornings with a mindset of appreciation, everything shifts. The things we once took for granted, the sunlight streaming through the window, the ability to move, to breathe, to connect with others, suddenly become reminders of how lucky we are to be here. Gratitude doesn't ignore life's challenges, but it allows us to see beyond them. It reminds us that even in the midst of struggle, we are still blessed with the gift of another day. And with that gift comes responsibility. What will we do with the time we've been given? How will we use it to grow, to contribute, to make an impact? Each morning is a chance to ask ourselves these questions, to reflect on the kind of person we want to be. The way we start our day has the power to shape everything that follows. A morning filled with gratitude, purpose, and positivity creates momentum that carries us forward. Yet, too often, we waste this gift. We hit snooze, rush through our routines, and go through the motions without truly being present. We let distractions consume us, allowing small frustrations to dictate our mood. But what if we made a conscious effort to wake up differently? What if we started each morning by acknowledging its value, by taking a deep breath, embracing the stillness, and recognizing that this moment, this exact moment, is a chance to begin again? Some mornings will be harder than others. There will be days when motivation feels distant, when challenges seem too big to face. But even on those days, the gift remains. The opportunity is still there. The chance to take even the smallest step forward exists, and that alone is enough. Every day, we wake up and follow a routine. We brush our teeth, get dressed, go to work, check emails, attend meetings, and go through the same cycle we did yesterday. Life becomes predictable, repetitive, and often uninspiring. We tell ourselves that this is just how life works, that we have responsibilities, obligations, and tasks that need to get done. But at some point, we start feeling stuck. We start questioning if there's more to life than just checking off boxes on a to-do list. And that's where the difference between routine and purpose becomes clear. Routine is what keeps us moving, but purpose is what keeps us alive. It is what fuels us, gives meaning to our actions, and makes us feel that what we do matters. Routine might help us survive, but purpose is what makes life worth living. The danger of routine is that it can make us feel productive without actually moving us forward. We confuse being busy with being fulfilled. We wake up, go to work, handle our responsibilities, and convince ourselves that we're doing what we're supposed to do, but deep down, there's a lingering sense of dissatisfaction, a feeling that something is missing. That's because routine alone is not enough. If our daily actions aren't connected to a deeper sense of why, we end up feeling empty, no matter how much we accomplish. Purpose gives meaning to even the smallest tasks. When we have a clear sense of why we do what we do, we no longer see our daily responsibilities as just another part of the routine. Instead, we see them as stepping stones towards something greater. The same job, the same meetings, the same conversations can feel completely different when we understand how they fit into a larger purpose. But finding purpose requires us to step back and ask some difficult questions. Why do we do what we do? What impact do we want to have? How do our daily actions align with the person we want to become? These are not easy questions to answer, and sometimes they make us uncomfortable. They force us to confront the reality that we may not be living as intentionally as we should be. Many people go through life without ever asking these questions. They wake up, go to work, handle their responsibilities, and repeat the process without ever pausing to reflect. And as a result, they reach a point where they feel lost, where they have everything they thought they wanted but still feel unfulfilled. That's because purpose isn't something that happens automatically. It's something we must actively seek. Living with purpose doesn't always mean making drastic changes. It doesn't mean quitting your job, moving to a new city, or abandoning everything familiar. Sometimes it simply means shifting the way we approach what we already do. It means bringing intention into our daily lives, recognizing that even the smallest actions can be meaningful when they align with a greater mission. It means choosing to see our work as more than just a paycheck, our relationships as more than just conversations, and our struggles as more than just obstacles. It's easy to fall into the comfort of routine because routine feels safe. It requires little thought, little effort, and little risk. But purpose asks more of us. It demands that we wake up every morning and choose to be present, choose to care, choose to grow. It challenges us to push beyond the limits of habit and seek out the deeper meaning behind our actions. There will always be routines in life, responsibilities don't disappear, and schedules don't vanish. But within those routines, we have the power to infuse meaning, passion, and intention into everything we do. When we choose purpose over routine, life stops feeling like something we are simply getting through and starts feeling like something we are truly living. Gratitude is one of the most powerful forces we have, yet it is often overlooked. It has the ability to shift our mindset, transform our emotions, and redefine how we experience life. The moment we choose gratitude, we stop focusing on what we lack and start recognizing what we have. And when that shift happens, everything changes. Most of us go through life constantly chasing something, more success, more money, more recognition, more happiness. We tell ourselves that once we achieve a certain goal, then we will feel satisfied. But the truth is, if we don't learn to be grateful for what we have now, we will never feel fulfilled no matter how much we achieve. Because there will always be something more. There will always be another goal, another milestone, another thing to chase. Gratitude doesn't mean settling or giving up on ambition. It means learning to appreciate the present while still striving for the future. It means recognizing that even in moments of struggle, there is something to be thankful for. When we focus on what we do have, our health, our opportunities, our relationships, our experiences, we realize that life is already abundant. The way we start our day can determine the energy we carry with us. If we wake up thinking about what's wrong, what's missing, or what we don't like about our lives, we set ourselves up for negativity. But when we wake up and choose gratitude, our entire perspective shifts. We stop seeing problems as barriers and start seeing them as opportunities to grow. We stop comparing our journey to others and start appreciating our own path. One of the greatest lessons in life is that gratitude is a choice. It's not something that just happens when everything is going well. It's something we must actively practice, especially during difficult times. When things aren't going as planned, when challenges arise, when life feels unfair, those are the moments when gratitude is most powerful. Because gratitude isn't about pretending everything is perfect. It's about finding the light even in the darkest moments. There are people who seem to have everything, success, wealth, status, and yet they are miserable. And there are people who have very little, yet they radiate joy. The difference isn't in what they have, it's in how they see the world. Gratitude isn't about circumstances, it's about perspective. It's about training our minds to focus on what's good rather than what's missing. When we choose gratitude, our relationships improve. We stop taking people for granted. We start noticing the kindness of others, the small gestures that make a difference, the moments of connection that truly matter. We become more present, more patient, more understanding. Instead of focusing on what someone didn't do, we appreciate what they have done. And that simple shift strengthens bonds and builds deeper connections. Gratitude also changes the way we handle challenges. Instead of feeling like the world is against us, we start seeing difficulties as part of our journey. We recognize that even the hardest moments bring lessons, growth, and wisdom. Every setback, every failure, every obstacle holds something valuable if we're willing to see it. It's easy to be grateful when everything is going well, but the real test of gratitude is whether we can still find something to appreciate when things aren't perfect. When we train ourselves to look for the good, to appreciate even the smallest blessings, we develop a resilience that carries us through any situation. And the best part? Gratitude creates more to be grateful for. The more we appreciate what we have, the more we attract positivity into our lives. It's a cycle. When we focus on abundance, we notice more opportunities, more joy, more reasons to be thankful. Gratitude doesn't just change our mindset, it changes our reality. Life is full of obstacles. No matter how much we plan, prepare, or work toward our goals, we will always face challenges that test our patience, resilience, and determination. Some people see these obstacles as barriers, immovable forces that block their path, causing frustration and discouragement. But the truth is, obstacles are not roadblocks. They are lessons. They are the experiences that shape us, teach us, and ultimately help us become stronger versions of ourselves. When we encounter difficulty, our first instinct is often to resist it. We get frustrated when things don't go according to plan. We wonder why life is making things harder for us when all we're trying to do is move forward. But the reality is that obstacles are not designed to stop us. They are there to show us something we need to learn. They force us to pause, to think differently, to grow in ways we never would have otherwise. Some of the greatest success stories in history come from people who faced enormous challenges. They didn't achieve success because their path was easy. They achieved success because they learned from their obstacles instead of being defeated by them. Every challenge presented them with an opportunity to improve, to adapt, to innovate, or to develop resilience. Imagine if every time something got difficult, we simply gave up. Imagine if every setback was the end of the road instead of the beginning of a new lesson. Growth would never happen, strength would never be built, success would never be achieved. Because progress isn't about avoiding obstacles, it's about learning how to navigate through them. Perspective matters. When we shift our mindset from seeing obstacles as something in the way to something teaching us, we stop feeling like victims of circumstance and start becoming active participants in our own growth. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me, we begin to ask, what can I learn from this? That single shift in thinking changes everything. Obstacles also test our level of commitment. How badly do we want what we say we want? When things become difficult, do we back down or do we push forward? The truth is, if something is truly important to us, we will find a way. If it isn't, we will find an excuse. And obstacles have a way of revealing what truly matters to us. Think about any skill you've ever mastered. Whether it was learning to ride a bike, starting a business, improving your health, or developing a new talent, there were challenges along the way. There were moments of frustration, failure, and doubt. But looking back, those challenges weren't roadblocks. They were stepping stones. They were the very experiences that allowed you to grow, improve, and eventually succeed. Difficulties are not there to break us, they are there to build us. They force us to become more creative, to develop problem-solving skills, and to discover strengths we never knew we had. They introduce us to new perspectives, new ideas, and new opportunities that we might never have encountered if everything had gone smoothly. Resilience isn't built in comfort. Strength isn't developed when everything is easy. Growth doesn't happen in the absence of struggle. The people who achieve great things in life aren't the ones who never faced obstacles. They are the ones who refuse to be stopped by them. They learned from every setback, adapted to every challenge, and kept moving forward despite the difficulties. It's easy to look at obstacles as unfair, to see them as barriers preventing us from reaching our goals. But when we step back and see them for what they truly are, lessons, growth opportunities, and stepping stones to something greater, we stop fearing them. We start embracing them, and that changes everything. Success is often seen as a massive, life-changing moment, a grand achievement that transforms everything in an instant, but in reality, success is rarely the result of a single big move. It is built through small wins, the tiny victories that over time create unstoppable momentum. Every major accomplishment starts with a simple step. Every expert was once a beginner. Every champion once struggled with the basics. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't talent or luck, it's consistency. It's the ability to keep moving forward even when progress feels small and insignificant. Because what may seem like minor progress today is actually the foundation for something much greater. The problem is that most people overlook the power of small wins. They believe that if progress isn't instant and dramatic, it doesn't matter. But that's not how growth works. Small efforts repeated over time lead to extraordinary results. A single workout will make you fit, but exercising consistently will. Reading one book won't change your life, but reading regularly will transform your mindset. One act of kindness won't redefine who you are, but living with kindness every day will shape your character. Momentum is created by small wins. When you accomplish something, no matter how small, it builds confidence. It reminds you that progress is possible. It pushes you to keep going. The key is to recognize and celebrate these wins instead of dismissing them as insignificant, because each one brings you closer to your goal. Think about a domino effect. A single domino may seem small on its own, but when placed in a sequence, it has the power to knock down something much larger than itself. The same is true for progress. Each small step you take may not seem like much, but when added together, they create unstoppable forward motion. Many people give up not because they lack ability, but because they lose patience. They expect instant results, and when they don't see them, they assume their efforts aren't working. But real success doesn't happen overnight. It happens through the compounding effect of small, consistent actions. This applies to every area of life, whether it's personal growth, career success, relationships, health, or any other goal. The small things you do daily matter far more than the big things you do occasionally. Success isn't about making a huge leap forward once. It's about showing up even when it's hard. It's about doing the work even when no one is watching. It's about trusting the process even when progress feels slow, because every time you take one step forward, you prove to yourself that you are capable of more. And the best part? Small wins create a positive feedback loop. The more you achieve, the more motivated you become. The more motivated you become, the more you push forward. And before you know it, those tiny victories have turned into something much bigger than you ever imagined. The most successful people in the world didn't get there by waiting for one big break. They got there by showing up every single day, doing the little things that others ignored, and trusting that their small efforts would lead to big victories. The next time you feel like your progress is too slow, remind yourself that every step forward, no matter how small, is still progress. Every little action, every tiny decision, every minor improvement adds up. Great things aren't built in a day, but they are built every day. Fear is one of the most powerful emotions we experience. It keeps us safe, alerts us to danger, and prepares us to react when necessary. But fear can also be paralyzing. It can hold us back from opportunities, prevent us from growing, and keep us stuck in a cycle of doubt and hesitation. Fear whispers all the reasons why something won't work, why we shouldn't take risks, why we're not good enough. And if we listen to it for too long, we start to believe it. But there is something stronger than fear: faith. Faith is the belief in something greater than what we can see, something bigger than our doubts. It is the confidence that even in uncertainty, there is a path forward. It is the trust that even when things don't go as planned, there is still a purpose in everything we experience. When we choose faith over fear, we stop letting doubts control our decisions. We stop waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect conditions, the perfect certainty. Instead, we move forward with the belief that we are capable, that we are supported, and that we are meant for something greater. Fear tells us to stay where it's safe, to avoid failure at all costs, to never take a step unless we're 100% sure of success. But growth never happens in comfort. Every great achievement, every breakthrough, every moment of transformation begins when someone chooses faith over fear. When they decide that the possibility of success is greater than the risk of failure. Faith doesn't mean the absence of fear. It means not letting fear dictate our actions. It means trusting despite the fear, moving forward despite the uncertainty, believing despite the setbacks. Faith doesn't remove the challenges, but it gives us the strength to face them. It allows us to step into the unknown, not because we are certain of the outcome, but because we trust that whatever happens, we will learn, grow, and become stronger. When fear is in control, we hesitate, we overthink, we doubt our own abilities, we wait for the right time, the right circumstances, the right sign before we take action. But faith tells us that the right time is now, that we don't need all the answers to take the first step, that we don't have to see the entire path before we start walking. Every person who has ever accomplished something great had to battle fear. The fear of failure, the fear of rejection, the fear of the unknown, but they moved forward anyway. Not because they had guarantees, but because they had faith. They believed in their vision, in their abilities, in the possibility of success, and because of that belief, they kept going when others quit. Fear makes us focus on what could go wrong. Faith helps us focus on what could go right. Fear convinces us that we are not ready, not capable, not worthy. Faith reminds us that we are stronger than we think, more capable than we realize, and more resilient than we give ourselves credit for. Fear is based on past experiences and worst-case scenarios. Faith is based on possibilities and trust. Fear sees obstacles as reasons to stop. Faith sees obstacles as challenges to overcome. Fear keeps us trapped in the same place, living the same life, making the same choices. Faith pushes us forward, opening doors we never thought possible. When we choose faith over fear, we stop letting doubt control our story. We take risks, knowing that even if we fail, we will grow. We step into opportunities, knowing that even if we're uncertain, we will figure it out. We pursue our dreams, knowing that even if the journey is difficult, it will be worth it, because faith reminds us that we are capable, we are strong, and we are meant for more. We all have good intentions. We want to be kind, helpful, and successful. We want to make a difference, to create something meaningful, to leave the world better than we found it. But intentions alone don't change the world. Impact does. Too often we judge ourselves based on what we meant to do rather than what we actually did. We assume that because our hearts were in the right place, our actions were enough. But the truth is, the world is not changed by good intentions. It is changed by the people who take action, who follow through, who make their presence felt in a way that creates real, lasting change. Intentions are internal. They live in our minds, in our plans, in our desires. Impact, on the other hand, is external. It's the effect we have on the people around us, the mark we leave, the difference we make, whether we realize it or not. And the gap between intention and impact is where most people fall short. Think about communication. Someone might intend to be supportive, but end up being dismissive. They might intend to encourage, but instead make someone feel small. Their intentions were good, but their impact was not. And at the end of the day, what matters is not what we meant to do, but how our words and actions actually affected others. This is why self-awareness is so important. It's not enough to mean well. We have to ensure that our actions align with our intentions. We have to be willing to ask, am I truly making the impact I want to make? Are my actions creating the results I hope for? Because if the answer is no, then something needs to change. The difference between intention and impact is the effort we put in to bridge the gap. It's about doing the work, following through, and being intentional, not just in thought, but in execution. It's about recognizing that action, not just ideas, creates change. Think about leadership. A great leader doesn't just intend to inspire their team, they actually take steps to empower, uplift, and lead by example. A great teacher doesn't just intend to educate, they create an environment where learning happens. A great friend doesn't just intend to be there, they show up when it matters most. The difference is in the action. Impact is measurable. It can be seen, felt, and experienced. It's the ripple effect of our choices. Every word we speak, every decision we make, every action we take leaves a footprint. And whether we realize it or not, we are shaping the world around us in big and small ways every single day. This is why accountability matters. If our impact doesn't match our intentions, we have to be willing to adjust, to listen, to learn, to improve. Because it's easy to say that wasn't my intention. But what truly matters is how we respond when we realize our impact wasn't what we hoped it would be. Growth comes from the willingness to refine, to adapt, to ensure that our actions align with our values. We don't remember people for what they intended to do. We remember them for what they actually did. We remember the ones who made us feel seen, who made a difference, who created change. the ones who turn their intentions into action, their words into reality, their vision into something tangible. Intentions are the starting point, but impact is the legacy we leave behind. Every day we have a choice. We can let our good intentions remain ideas, or we can turn them into something real, something that truly changes lives. Too often we live in a world of someday. We tell ourselves that someday we will take that risk. Someday we will start that business. Someday we will spend more time with loved ones. Someday we will pursue our dreams. But someday is not a real day on the calendar. It is an illusion that keeps us from fully living. The only moment that truly exists is now. The past is gone, beyond our control. The future is unknown, full of possibilities, but never guaranteed. Yet most people spend their lives trapped between the two, regretting the past or worrying about the future, while the present moment slips away unnoticed. The power of now is realizing that this moment is all we ever have. The choices we make today shape our future. The actions we take in this very instant determine the direction of our lives. The opportunity to change, to grow, to create, to love, to become better, it all exists right now. Living in the now does not mean ignoring the past or failing to plan for the future. It means learning from the past without being controlled by it and preparing for the future without being consumed by it. It means being fully engaged in what we are doing, who we are with, and where we are at this very moment. Regret often comes from dwelling on the past, replaying mistakes, reliving painful moments, wishing we had done things differently. But no amount of regret can change what has already happened. The only thing we can control is what we do now. If we want a better future, we must start making better choices today. Anxiety often comes from obsessing over the future, worrying about what could go wrong, fearing failure, stressing about things that may never happen. But the future is shaped by what we do in the present. If we spend all our energy worrying, we lose the ability to take action. The best way to create a strong future is to fully commit to the present. When we embrace the power of now, we become more present in our relationships. We listen more intently. We appreciate the people around us. We stop waiting for the perfect moment to express love, gratitude, or appreciation, and we start acting on those feelings immediately. We stop taking time for granted, realizing that every second spent with someone we care about is a gift. Success is also built in the now. No great achievement happens in an instant. It happens through consistent daily effort. The small actions we take every day, choosing to work instead of procrastinate, choosing to exercise instead of making excuses, choosing to learn instead of remaining stagnant, are what lead to long-term success. Dreams don't come true in the future. They come true because of what we do today. Happiness is found in the now. So many people tie their happiness to future events. I'll be happy when I get that job, when I lose weight, when I make more money, when I find the right person. But happiness is not something we find later. It is something we choose in the present. There will always be challenges, always be something more to achieve, always be things we wish were different. But if we cannot find joy in the present, we will never truly experience it in the future. Every second wasted is a second we will never get back. Every opportunity ignored is a chance that may never come again. Every moment of hesitation is a moment lost forever. Life is happening now. Growth is happening now. The chance to make an impact, to pursue our dreams, to build the life we want, it is all happening right now.